Have you ever noticed that the loudest things in the world are often the emptiest? In the comment sections, there are always people loudly giving advice, banging on their keyboards like thunder. But when they turn off their screens, their lives remain a mess. How about you? Are you starting to doubt, starting to feel anxious because you haven't been noticed yet, you haven't succeeded yet, and you're not even sure if what you're doing really matters? But I want to tell you a truth: if these doubts make you restless, it means your inner power is awakening. Because truly potential people are never comfortable with their ordinary state. That's not weakness, it's a sharp edge, the beginning of what makes you different. Don't think being strong means never falling or never wavering. Never. The strongest people are actually those who, knowing the storm is coming, still choose to move forward. Their strength doesn't come from victory but is forged through repeated pain. Lincoln experienced dozens of failures in his life: failed elections, failed businesses, loss of loved ones. Did it hurt? Of course it did. But he never let pain steer his direction. He tightly held on to his goal and turned all his emotions into fuel. You must learn this art. Nothing disturbs me. This isn't indifference. This is strategy. This is clarity. This is the attitude of choosing to act even after seeing through the world. You can't always be led by other people's opinions. Their voices are just background noise, static in the movie of your life. They don't know the roads you've traveled, the nights you've endured, or how firm your eyes were when you gritted your teeth. If you can do this, stay unmoved amid chaos, not fight back amid mockery, and keep moving forward amid doubt, you've already won half the battle. Don't let emotions drag you away. Don't let every frustrating moment control you. You are not a slave to your emotions. You are the driver. True control doesn't start when there are no emotions, but when you can still choose your direction even in emotional storms. You can be angry, but don't throw that anger out. You can be sad, but don't stop moving. You can be excited, but don't forget discipline. Dale Carnegie once said, "Controlling yourself is harder than conquering the world. But once you master yourself, you can conquer anything." You need training. Every day. Training yourself in ways almost no one is willing to persist. Pause. Think. Ask yourself, is my reaction valuable right now? Is this emotion really worth giving up everything I have? Those who take this training to the extreme have a hidden power others can't see. They no longer live to prove anything. They no longer break down when rejected. They just quietly move forward and let the results respond for them. This is the power of indifference. Not coldness, but strength. Not retreat, but focus. Imagine yourself in a storm. Others panic, cry, break down. But you stand there without a word, just pulling your hat down, tightening your coat, and keep moving forward. You don't shout or argue, you simply arrive silently. In this world, many people prove themselves with words, but you are different. Your silence is the sharpest language. Look closely, silence is not weakness. It's you taking back the rhythm. When others try to provoke you with words and you stay silent, that moment you control the battlefield. Not them. You. You're not here to please the world's eyes. You're here to shape the world. Every time you don't respond to meaningless quarrels, every time you refuse to waste emotions on trivial matters, every time you stay calm at the moment you most want to explode, that's a huge victory. Not against others, but against yourself. You need a goal, clear, firm, and uncompromising. Other people's voices don't matter, your focus does. Your life is not for pleasing anyone. You are not a machine waiting to be judged, but a flame that can burn the world. Learn to separate emotions from goals. Criticism comes. Good, that's a whetstone, not a terminal station. Don't rush to argue, don't rush to accept. Analyze first, keep what's useful to you, and smile off the rest. Criticism is not the end but raw material. Use it well, and you will evolve. Use it badly, and emotions will drag you down. Don't fear pressure. Fear is defeat. Pressure is a developer, it reveals who you really are. If you start doubting life whenever you face difficulties, you've never truly had faith. If you learn to breathe and stay calm under pressure, you are no longer an ordinary person who startles easily. You are unbreakable steel, a beast moving silently, or will burning even in the storm. Everyone talks about growth, but what they really want is just to stop feeling pain. But growth is never comfortable. It's a painful rebirth, a raw transformation that happens quietly, bit by bit. No one becomes strong by staying comfortable. Real change happens when you want to give up but grit your teeth and keep going. It's that struggle at the bottom, not the glory at the top, that defines who you truly are. Henry Ford didn't become great when his first car succeeded. He became great after being rejected by over a dozen banks, yet still choosing to keep designing. He didn't respond to the world's doubts with anger, he responded with action. He knew the highest form of comeback isn't arguing, but delivering results. You must learn this, let your actions speak louder than words. You're not here to please the world, you're here to create it. Every time you try to prove yourself to others, you're wasting precious energy. You don't exist for likes or approval, you exist because you matter. Not because others see your worth, but because you see it in yourself. From the moment you start walking your path with confidence, all doubts become nothing but background noise. No need to respond or explain. The more you explain, the more vulnerable you become. The more silent you stay, the deeper and more unfathomable you appear. Be like water, flowing and adaptable, yet steady as a mountain. The quiet ones truly control the room. You must develop an ability to make clear-headed decisions amid any emotion. This isn't instinct, it's a discipline. It's pulling yourself back from the edge of collapse again and again, hitting pause in the flames of anger, and maintaining your own rhythm amid chaos. Others make decisions based on feelings, you choose strategy. While others self-destruct in a moment of excitement, you grow stronger the calmer you become. This contrast will decide how far you go. Your goal shouldn't be to win every argument. Your goal is to steer the course of your life. Don't doubt yourself because of what others say. Don't undo all your hard work over one failure. The truly strong are those who everyone expects to fall, but who rise again and again. Not because they're unhurt, but because they understand that emotions don't solve problems, only actions do. Learn to separate emotion from goals. Emotions are feelings, goals are destinations. Don't mix the two. You can feel down, but don't lose your way. You can cry, but then stand up again. You can be angry, but turn that anger into focused energy, not destructive explosive powder. Train yourself to stay calm and clear-headed in every high-pressure situation. Train yourself not to lash out when facing pressure, misunderstandings, or even betrayal. The more you control yourself, the less others can control you. Control is freedom. Those who fail to master their emotions become slaves to them. Those who master themselves ultimately master the world. Stop trying to control others. The only person you can truly control is yourself. Let go of obsession with outcomes, drop illusions of perfection, and release useless insistence on how things should be. You're not here to live perfectly, but to live authentically, powerfully, and meaningfully. Let go of what you cannot control, the weather, others' opinions, sudden failures, the ups and downs of fate, these are beyond your reach. But you can always control how you respond. When you shift from, I must control everything, to, I focus on controlling myself, that's when the world truly belongs to you. True strength isn't about controlling the world, it's about controlling how you face it. And when you truly control yourself, you'll discover a great secret: the world is never your enemy. You are your greatest opponent. Let go of needless attachments, and you'll be freer. This isn't escape, it's detachment after seeing through illusions. You are not weak, you are stronger. You see the truth: you can't control every opportunity, but you can control every preparation. You can't predict every future, but you can sharpen your mind. You can't avoid life's storms, but you can become the ship that never sinks. Remember Edison on the night his factory burned down? His son thought he would break, but Edison simply said, "Good, now we can start over." The next day, he rebuilt everything and earned even greater profits within a year. Think that was luck? No, it was attitude. Attitude is the true lever of fate. Attitude determines altitude, emotion shapes destiny. You must have ironclad control over your emotions, razor-sharp focus on your goals, and rock-solid composure toward distractions. At that point, you're no longer a paper doll blown by the wind, you're the one who stirs the storm. The world will never reward you immediately just because you work hard enough. You have to understand that some results aren't unseen because they don't exist, it's because you haven't yet endured long enough to see them emerge. The biggest difference between successful people and ordinary people has never been about resources, background, or connections, it's whether they quietly hold on until the very last second. There is a harsh truth in modern society: those who shout the loudest are often the first to leave the stage. Meanwhile, those who remain silent, who don't explain or boast, are the ones who firmly stand at the finish line. They do have emotions, but they have long learned to coexist with them without being consumed. They are not immune to provocation, but they know that reacting is exposing themselves, moving even once reveals them. The stronger you are, the more you can calm down at the peak of emotion, because you understand, in this noisy, superficial age, silence is the true strength. Those who try to influence you with words are only trying to steal your focus. Their provocations are not knives, but hooks, trying to drag you into the swamp of emotions. If you respond, they win; if you stay silent, you win. Silence is not avoidance, it is control. It is not weakness, but a deep understanding of what is truly worth responding to. You are no longer driven by emotions because you see them as fleeting ripples while you are sailing toward the vast ocean. You no longer speak to prove anything, because you know real proof is never through words, but your work, your results, your composed presence when you stand at the peak. That composure is not a performance, it is absolute trust in your own strength. You don't need to show off because you know you have already become the one others admire. But all this starts with one thing: you must be the master of yourself, not a slave to your emotions. What does the world reward? Not the loudest shouters, nor the quickest reactors, but those who, under great pressure, can still think clearly, act calmly, and move steadily forward. This is not talent, it's habit. It's pressing the pause button every time your emotions explode, forcing yourself to stay silent when you want to strike back, and choosing to keep going when you are on the edge of collapse. It accumulates little by little. It won't give you immediate glory, but at some future moment, you will suddenly realize, you have transformed from an emotional person into one who controls their life. You begin to have the aura of control, unflustered, unafraid, neither fighting nor hiding. You do your own thing without distraction, you walk your own path regardless of noise, you say what you need to say, but more often, you choose silence. Because you know silence makes people guess, silence preserves energy, silence controls the rhythm. It is a silent domination. You start responding only to what matters. You begin to understand that not every comment deserves your attention, not every misunderstanding is worth your explanation, not every conflict merits your involvement. Your time, your energy, your emotions are scarce resources, you can no longer give them away carelessly. The strong are strong because they hold the power to choose when to respond. You are not a switch anyone can flip, nor a bomb that can be detonated by just a word. You have your own rhythm, your own plan, your own mission. This mindset shift is the transformation from emotional dependence to goal-driven focus. You are no longer pulled by momentary fluctuations but always steering toward the horizon. Remember this: the calmest people are the most powerful. You don't need to win every conflict, you only need to control the entire battlefield of your life. True strength is not explaining during storms, not debating in doubt, not hesitating in loneliness. You don't live to be understood by others, you live to fulfill your mission. You know why you are here, you know where you are going, and you resolutely eliminate all unnecessary distractions. This is the so-called power of indifference. It's not cold-bloodedness, but your passion for your goals surpassing your reaction to trivial matters. It's not ignoring emotions but understanding. Some emotions deserve your experience, others only a glance before you let them go. You begin to ask yourself, will this emotion bring me closer to my goal? If not, it's not worth wasting a single minute. As you gain more control over your reactions, your world becomes clearer. You begin to possess something rare: tranquility, focus, and pure action. You no longer deal with life in fragments. You start concentrating your time, your energy, your actions. You begin saying no to life, to unnecessary socializing, pointless anxiety, meaningless comparisons, all stripped from your life. And finally, you become like a knife, clean, direct, and penetrating. What truly defines you is not how excellent you are when the wind is at your back, but whether you can stay clear-headed on the edge of collapse. The strong are not those without emotions, but those who know when to put emotions aside and choose strategy. They are not those who never panic, but those who can still make the right decisions after the panic subsides. What you need to train is not perfect emotions, but the muscle to make the best choices even in the worst situations. Pressure won't tell you who you are, but it will surely force out who you really are. When faced with pressure, some break down, some fall silent, some strike, and the truly strong make a fourth choice: they smile, adjust, and fight to the end. Remember, no one can bear the impact of life for you. You must stand in the storm yourself, look destiny in the eyes with determination, and say, "I will not retreat. I am not here to be defeated." Ford did not build his automotive empire when capital applauded him, but when the factory was closing, debts piled up, and everyone thought he was crazy. He gritted his teeth and walked through the darkest night that others dared not face. He controlled his panic. He refused to let emotions decide his fate. He knew, the outcome won't change because I'm nervous, but my attitude will change everything. Pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is a touchstone, a truth revealer, a sieve. If you want to be at the top, you must bear the weight of the top. These weights will not disappear, they will only test if you can withstand them, and then decide whether to grant you the place you deserve. What you must learn is not how to escape pressure, but how to coexist with it, how to stay clear-headed amidst anxiety, execute plans in despair, and keep the rhythm in chaos. These people are the real strong ones. The truly terrifying thing is not how strong your opponent is, but that you can never predict the limit of someone who remains calm under extreme pressure. You begin to fear failure no more, because you finally understand that failure is not the end. It's a turn, a reminder, a signal for upgrade. You no longer define yourself by results but by your way of responding. You can fall, but the way you stand up defines who you are. You can be sad, but the moment you endure, the world will remember your name. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is your most loyal teacher. It knows your weaknesses better than anyone, willing to reveal your flaws again and again, mercilessly shattering you, then forcing you to reshape yourself. It is not here to defeat you, but to carve out your true potential. You start to stop fearing challenges and begin embracing them, because you know challenges are not walls blocking your success but doors leading to strength. Every calm under pressure is a step toward mastery, every rise after failure is a key to a new level. You finally realize, you don't win by luck, but by battle after battle, never letting emotions defeat you, slowly climbing upward. You begin to establish your life principles: no decisions under pressure, no responses in anger, no giving up in sadness, no definitions in failure. You start practicing an internal pause button. Not to numb yourself, but to pause first, then choose. You give yourself 5 seconds, 50 seconds, a night, or even a week. You won't let emotions wreck your plans. You give yourself time to regain control, to return to the battlefield. This is the true meaning of indifference, not coldness, but that your love for your goals has surpassed all fluctuations. You begin to become unfathomable. Others cannot read your emotional ups and downs, and you no longer rush to express yourself. You no longer reveal your strategies in conflicts, nor expose your weaknesses in doubts. You become someone unmanageable, and the world only respects those who are hard to control. You don't win by emotion, you win by mindset. You don't win by speed, you win by endurance. You don't win by proving yourself, you win by results. You finally understand that in the battle of life, silence, calmness, and determination are the true weapons to victory. Now, you stand at the threshold of destiny. You are no longer the person who needs validation to move forward. Nor are you someone who wavers at a single criticism. Instead of rushing to respond to the world, you have begun to choose when to respond, to yourself. You embrace silence because you have finally heard the voice within. You practice restraint because you realize wasted emotions only slow you down. And you have grown indifferent, not out of coldness, but because you love your goal more than the noise along the way. You have walked through lonely days, uncheered mornings, and nights when you fought collapse alone. You have trained, endured, and persisted, and here you are, still standing. This was not luck, it was grit, moving forward inch by inch. Remember this, no one can defeat a person who fears nothing. When you stop fearing failure, loneliness, others' doubts, and the uncertainty of the process, you become truly free. True freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's refusing to let the outside world control your emotions. You decide how to react, think, and move forward every day. You now understand the real goal isn't to beat others, but to become the person you once dreamed of, that you once thought it impossible. You make choices instead of drifting with the tide. You set rules rather than being controlled by them. And you face real life, rather than living in the reflections others project onto you. Now is the time to take control. Give what you cannot control to time. Give what you cannot change to fate. Mute the voices that don't belong to you. Then, focus fully on the one thing that matters, becoming the person you are destined to be. The one who is sharp in calmness and explosive in silence. The one who never explains, never pleases, takes no shortcuts, and makes no complaints. The one who wakes early, quietly driving great change with steady action. The one driven not by emotion, but by goals, fueled by will, guided by belief. Yes, your enemy is not others, it's your laziness from yesterday, your hesitation from last week, and the version of yourself that once feared failure. What you must do is not defeat others, but to constantly overcome the weak, irritable, easily distracted self inside. Every day, you reshape yourself, battle emotions, practice silencing feelings, and let your goals speak. You don't say much. You don't explain much. You prove who you are through your actions. You don't need applause, because the sound of your progress is louder than any clapping. You don't need understanding, because your existence is already an answer. You no longer rush to respond to criticism because you are storing strength. You know what deserves a response is your achievement 5 years from now, not today's noise. Now, you finally understand, true strength lies not in outward outbursts, but in controlling yourself. Controlling your reactions, your emotions, your state under pressure, and your choices in silence. You are not cold-blooded, you are deeply reserved. You are not heartless, you master your emotions. You don't feel no pain, you feel pain but stay composed. You are not fearless of failure, you see the light beyond it. You know storms will pass and pain will subside. But one who can still execute plans amidst chaos will never be defeated. So, don't wait any longer. Don't wait for others to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Don't wait for perfect conditions before you start working. Don't wait for applause before you awaken. Now is the time to change. Let go of what you cannot control. Bring your attention back, to your habits, your choices, and every action you can take right now. From today on, be silent. Train. Execute. Let silence become your style, and stability your weapon. Let those who doubted you see the answer in your quiet strength. You are not performing life, you are crafting it. You are not waiting for recognition, you are writing your own destiny. Now, face the world with your calmness, your composure, and your practiced detachment. You are no longer who you once were. You have awakened.